Have you ever thought as long as you're working harder, you will get paid more? And that's not the case. Why? Because if it is true, why is the cleaner getting paid much less than those company owners? If that's true, why there are so many people who work so hard for 24 hours, 20 hours, or longer than that, but they still cannot get paid more? And I had suffered that a lot, and that comes to one problem because we are all default set up automatically in our mind to believe a philosophy that we believe is true, but which is not true. And today I'm going to disclose you this secret and this biggest lie in our mind that almost sold in every single one's mind. It took me ages to understand. Coming back to my story, I had been working in a corporate and logistics world for more than a decade. And I always worked hard and I always give my 110% whatever I did. That was a great journey. But until one day, I realized something. Even though I got paid so good, so well when I worked as a leader for a company, but we still struggle with the bills sometimes. We still struggle to afford buying houses and paying the debt of the house and everything. Then why? Why is that happening? If working harder can solve these problems should have already been solved until the day I started my business and until that journey started, it was a crazy conflict and a crazy denying of my identity and everything. I was crushed. I was like, why, why? I thought something I understood that was right, but it wasn't. I thought I knew everything, but I didn't know anything. And that was a huge journey for me. And then I realized when I look around, my gosh, 90% of people, even more than that, are doing the same thing. What I'm trying to say here is we are so good at looking good, feeling good, but in fact, we know we're not doing good. I remember that I was feeling awesome. I got the fame, I got the power, I got respect from people. But when I look at my bank account, it wasn't looking very good. I could only save that little every single month. That's the time I start to realize this one thing, if I got it right, it can solve all the problems. And the question is, I want to share with you this story. Imagine right now, you and I are racing. I'm not a very good runner. I can run, but running is not one of my biggest strengths. I, I can stop after a little bit. But let's say we are racing and you and I are racing, but if I say to you, hey, you, I'm going to ride a bike to race you. And then you said, why did you do that? It's not fair. So you change to the bike. And then I will change to a motorbike. And then said, Kristy, why did you do that? That's not fair. And then I'm going to change, you're going to change to a motorbike. And then we'll change to the car and you change to car and airplane and jet, all these things. And he said to me, why did you keep doing that? The reason I keep doing this, first of all, I wanted to give this credit to my teacher, Marvin Golden, that he shared this story, really impacted me. And secondly, the story, why it impacts me so much is number one, when you hear it's not fair, you must see around the world, it looks not fair. Some kind people can be so poor, but some rich people can be so rich. And that is why the default thinking in our mind is, well, if you're rich, you're evil. And the worst case happen is if you look at all these superhero movies, they always tend to sow in the seeds in your mind that if you are a rich guy, you're going to be the villain. You're going to be not kind, which is completely not true. I used to believe in this because I was also set up in this automatic system, believing that being rich is not a good thing. Being rich is being evil. But that is not true, my friend. I've known people in my life, they are rich, they're kind, they work way harder than others. And these people will never complain about anyone. They will take full responsibility and ownership. Instead, if you look at people who are poor, they are making all the excuses, they complain about everything. And that is a question. Do you really believe that being rich means being evil? That is not true, my friend. And the problem is about your philosophies. If your philosophies are wrong, you will never be able to break through. And that happens to my life. And imagine if I'm still running to compete with people in my life, the best thing I can change is just to change my runners. I can only run so quickly. I could never catch up with those who already take their jet from place A to place B. When it comes to philosophy, you may say, wow, there are so many successful people who are richer than me, who are already having a better start of their life, and they might already have silver spoon, or they have better background and better culture and better skin color. That's not true. I can name thousands of examples for any of the things that I just listed because I also start thinking about this when I turn my eyes from just focused on looking good and feeling good to really doing good and to be more practical and to really put things to work. And I start to deny myself for so many areas. And remember, one of the biggest thing I had to do was really killing all my egos. Number one thing I did was I started to remove all the alibis in my life because I used to think, oh, I can't do it well. I can't do that well. It's because of some reasons. You can make a lot of reasons about not doing well. Is it the culture? Is it the skin color? Or it is something else about you're not smart enough. These are all lies, my friend, because I can name thousands of people for each category that you will see people in different skin colors or they have different culture. They start even worse than you are right now. They still can do well. If that's the case, why? Why am I doing well? I was so confused. I was like, what's going on with me? And I start to feel so bad with my identity. But let me tell you, there's nothing wrong with you. You're perfect. Perfect. You are wonderfully made and you are enough. But what is missing? And that is a philosophy. Once you get your philosophy right, everything will be right. I have prepared some starter for you, and that will show you how significant philosophy is. Now, before I show you the data, I want to ask you, how many of you were told, find your talent, follow the money, you'll be happy? What if I told you that belief, our default success philosophy, is one of the top slow motion disasters of the modern era? Is stealing talent, hauling out companies, costing their global economy hundreds of billions, and shortening lives. This is the data I want to show you. When wrong philosophy wastes huge sums of money. Disengaged and misaligned workers cost the global economy 438 billion in lost productivity last year alone, 2024. And global employee engagement sits at only 21%. So the data comes from Gallup.com. And billions vanish when people don't believe the work accomplishes purpose. That is why your philosophy is also aligned with your purpose. Now, I want to share with you that why I'm so obsessed with philosophy. I had been looking for answers of my life. I always felt there's something more that I can do. I always want to dream bigger. but I don't know what's get me stuck. And when I discovered that one thing that got me stuck is my philosophy, I immediately became so obsessed with that. And I believe I'm a philosopher because I've been reading things about philosophies every single day. And I listen to the amazing teachers, Jim Rohn, Myron Golden. I read all these top best-selling books in the world, and I've learned so much. And not just I learned, but also applied, implement in my life. I tested it, I used it to coach the global CEOs, and they worked out perfectly. You might be thinking you need to find someone to train you, to coach you. But most of the time, 90% of the time, it's not about coaching you, telling you what to do, is to change your philosophy. And the problem is, once it's default, it takes a long time to change. Long, long time. It's a habit. Automatically, it's happening at the back of your mind. You did not even realize until you intentionally check if your philosophies are right or not. And 90% of the success, I believe, comes from you get your philosophies right. And also, when you think that you are lacking of knowledge, I don't believe so. We all have knowledge and we can just ask. You get knowledge. There'll be people around you that you get knowledge. But if your philosophies are wrong, no matter how much around you, you're still not going to get it. I shared another story another day that there is a Bible story. There's a woman called Hagar and her son is called Ishmael, and they were almost dying from the thirst. And Hagar was looking at the empty bottle and she was crying to God, to angels, please help me, please help us. We're dying. Please have mercy. And what happened was the angel was saying, what are you doing? Look around. And then, long story short, she found the a complete well around her. And then she grabbed water from the well by using the empty bottle. And then they did not die. They were saved. If you get your philosophy right, you will not be dwelling in the problems. You will not be dwelling in the things that you believe you can't do it. Whatever that is the whole reason why you're not growing. You're not being rich. You're not being wealthy yet. Coming back to the leverage we talked about earlier, that if you want to compete with someone, or if you want to be much more wealthier, you cannot just rely on your own feet and legs. That is why there are different levels you can go to. The level one is you can be a manager, someone you can manage the person to do the job for you. And next level, you can be the communicator. You can be the one who creates something, entrepreneur, you are the boss and you hire people to do the thing. And then you can make things happen. Even you're not there, things can still keep moving. Or you can be a script writer or a movie director, whatever that is. But when the things is published outside there, they just keep getting paid. That is exactly why we have Disney movies. We have all this, even Harry Potter. What's her name again? The writer, Jen. Oh my gosh, I just didn't remember in my mind. Um, Jen something. Anyway, she got paid a lot to just wrote this book, the whole thing, and then the producers just used that, and she just keep getting paid, and she's just got financial freedom straight away. And because the difference is that she actually got the leverage income, the leverage way to live a better life. Now, I'm here to share with you that right now, if you don't believe that you can earn more or do more, I'll give you an example. This is my true story. The true story was when I started this business, I was hiring all the members, and we can only charge maximum from 1,000 to 2,000 plus something per client. And if I need to call clients, if I rely on myself giving calls to clients every single day, my income will be so limited because I only have 24 hours a day. I only can work about 5, 6, 7, or 8, sometimes 12 hours, whatever I want to do, or 16 hours, but it's limited. I'm relying on my muscle and everything. I remember there was a time I was so tired. Like I love what I do. I love giving value to people. but I just couldn't get it right. I just feel like I just keep dwelling in this circle. I just can't get out. And then there's a time when I learned about the different philosophy and I realized, hang on a minute, what? This is crazy. Why? Because let's say this, if your goal is you want to earn 200K per month, what I was doing before was if let's say one client pays me $1,000 and I have to get 200 clients to achieve $200,000. But then the moment when I realized that I can make a product that is solving bigger problems and I can get paid $20,000. In fact, the biggest offer I had sent was $100,000. Then I only need to make two offers that month. And I will have so much more time to do what I want to do. My mind was blowing when I realized that through all these years, I thought I was the smartest. I was so smart. I was so capable. But I was just living in a life with default in philosophies. I only believe that I have to work so hard and long hours and then cross my fingers and wishing that things will happen. Then I realized that's not the case. When your philosophies are changed, your life will be changed. And the next thing I want to share with you is here are the 5 principles I want you to take away from this. Because these 5 principles can definitely help you to transform your philosophies and you will change your life as well. They're very practical. You don't find this from anywhere else. The first step, the principle, first one is earning more, you have to learn more. In order to earn more, you have to learn more. That is the principle. Because so many people, they just say, okay, I'm just going to do what I'm doing, and that's it. And if someone tells me what to do, I've done this before. I've seen so many logistics global CEOs that they've done so well now, but they got stuck because of their egos, because they don't think they have things that they need to learn, because they don't believe that they can keep growing to another level. They just believe this, like, it's like, have you heard about the story of the frog who only sees the frog under the well? The frog can only see the sky with that little. It didn't know the sky is way bigger than it could see. That's exactly the case, happens to every single person. When I'm talking to some global logistics CEOs, you will see that people who are open to my coaching, they come to me and their business are immediately transformed and their life as well. But for those who are like, yeah, no, no, I don't need you. You're younger, or so many reasons that they don't just come to me. I'm not saying you have to come to me. Please don't come to me if you don't feel that we're the right fit. And I don't like to take people who are not the right audience I'm serving. I'm saying here is no matter who you want to hire as a mentor, whatever, you need someone who can guide you so you can keep learning. Or whether it's reading books, reading great books, every day you have a goal that you can tick the box and learn more so that it helps you to grow more of your business in your mind and then grow your philosophy. Because that's how you get the philosophies from. You only know what you know, you don't know what you don't know. And this first thing, remember, if you want to change your philosophies, the principle number one is in order to earn more, you have to learn more. And the second principle is people over profit. Well, I had 2 extreme mistakes and examples to share with you. Before, I was always a people person. I was always worried about how people think about me and I want to serve them. When I say I need to charge them, I feel so bad. I feel like I was a scammer. I feel this is not good because I'm not sure if I can deliver the things to them or not. And that it's really silly because any transaction in business is value exchange. You can definitely charge people, right? But that was the first mistake I made. I always wanted to do charity. That's why the company grows really, really slowly. I couldn't see much in the breakthrough on the financial side. My philosophies were terrible. I thought I was really, really good and I was in control. But now, no, no, no. After you learned, you realize that, oh my gosh, it's like when you look at your younger self It was like, oh, I wish I've told my younger self this and that. The same thing. And that's the first extreme mistake. And the second extreme mistake was, and then I was like, okay, gosh, I should focus also on profit, because without profit, how can I survive? How can I serve more people? So I start to look at the profit and I go extreme. Sometimes I did not think about should I really care about them? I do care about them, but profit should come first. Without profit, what's the point about running a business? So with a very like only I remember that was only a very short time, because that's so different than who I was. I did like focus on so much on profit. The performance was great, but then I realized I was a bit hard selling to people sometimes. When I say hard selling, it's like the difference between you want to serve people and or profit or people. The difference is, for those people who sell something to someone who don't need it, it's pretty much profit first, because all you need is profit. You want to get paid. That's why in this world, 90% of the time it's always commercial. They don't care about if you're going to take that or not. People are selling tobaccos, alcohols, and all these things. Yep. Not judging anyone, but these things are not good for you. But people are selling them. And that's why there's also criminals. People are selling drugs, which is terrible. We're not doing that. But what I'm saying here is it's pretty much similar. If you're selling someone things that they don't need, you only profit first. Now, that's the biggest mistake anybody can make. Now, what I've learned is you have to put people before profit. When you put people before profit, people can feel your authenticity. People can feel that you truly want to help them. Instead of chasing them, they will come to you and ask you for help. And that's also going to change the way how you have the conversation with your clients, because they can tell, okay, you are here understanding about my pain, my problem, and that's good, because I can tell you are a doctor I can trust. You're listening to me. That's also why the next principle is, instead of you have to focusing on the profit, how about you focus on people? Then if you focus on people, then what you need to do for the people, it's serving them and solving their problems. And that is the next principle. Always serving and solving problems. When you can solve a big problem, people can pay you way more. The reason why the surgeons get paid more than just GP is because they can solve a big problem. Usually when it comes to doing surgery, that means it's a big deal. If you don't do that, the person can lose their lives. And how about you become like a surgeon? How about you become like a doctor that you can solve huge problems in someone's lives? Instead of so obsessed with your profit, how about you become obsessed with others' problems? And that's exactly why you see those billionaires and millionaires. Why are they so wealthy? It's because they all started from this principle. When they start to be obsessed with the problems, that they can find it. And then that's an opportunity for them. When they can solve that problem, they produce products or services that can immediately serve a huge amount of people. Let's say even one person pays you $1. If you can serve 2 billions of people, you get $2 billion at least. It's not that hard. What's hard is when we're default in our mind, believing things that's not true, we get confused. When we're confused, we don't know where to go. We don't know what to do next. So remember this principle, solving problems and serving others. Now, the next principle, I believe that is truly impactful. I've learned a big time. When you entering, if you're an entrepreneur, you understand what I'm saying. When you enter into this entrepreneurial journey, it's kind of like you never come out. It's impossible. Now, the question is, do you want to survive, or do you want to die, or do you want to thrive? You only have 3 options. Whether you're going to stay in the forest, let's say you enter this forest as an entrepreneur, you have to find ways to survive there, get tools, maybe some bear will come, or wolves, whatever is going to come, tiger. You might be in danger, right? You either die if you're not strong enough, Now, the next option you have is you're going to survive because you have to make sure you stay alive no matter what. But there's another option for you, and that's to thrive. Now, in order to thrive, it is so hard. You know why it's hard? Most entrepreneurs, just like myself, we are creative. Well, I believe every human being is creative, not just entrepreneurs, but particularly entrepreneurs are high performers, that they are easy to get bored when they're doing one thing. They just want to get new things and new things, which is great. It's very good when it comes to creating offers and be creative, but it'll become a big problem when it comes to their enemy to success. Why? Let me ask you a question. Why is Michael Jordan so successful? Many people gives a different answer. He's taller or but one of the famous answer, you know that, right? His famous quote is the reason why I think that's what he said. I don't remember that, guys, but what I remember is if he didn't miss the 9,000 plus shots, he would not become the legend himself. What's happening here? The key here is repetition. Repetition can be so boring. Let me give another example. Yesterday, I went to church for choir rehearsal. We do the church service and with Christmas service, which is really exciting. And with the song that I was holding, I was like, oh my gosh, like at the beginning, I had no idea how to sing that song. But within one rehearsal, after repetition again, it became so familiar. And then yesterday was the second time we had rehearsal. It was like, wow, I feel like I'm already an expert for this song. Isn't that crazy? This is just a small example. Have you ever looked back anything that you've done so far? You never knew how to do that. How could you get to know to do it? It's because anything is possible once you are willing to go through the repetition. And when you look at Olympics or the champions, do you think they're smarter than anyone? No, because they keep doing repetition. Once you keep repeating one thing that works, and let's say, let me give you a challenge. Keep one thing you're doing. For example, if you're doing 7 minutes workout this year, never miss a single day. Do the whole year the same thing for 1 year. You will see something significant. And people ask me, Kristy, you're amazing. You can do this and that. Let me tell you, you are probably more amazing than I am. Why? I'm not more amazing than you. The only thing that I'm doing more is sometimes it's boring. When I wake up in the morning, I do workout. It's so painful. Sometimes I couldn't see the result yet. I have to keep doing. And that's the boring part. But once we can get through the boring part, the fruits are always waiting for you after that. No matter what it applies in your life right now, remember repetition. Whether it's one of the business ideas that you already been doing and it works so well, keep doing it. Of course, remember Nokia's story. It got bankrupt. You need innovation. You need something new. I'm talking about something that is already working. Don't give up, but you need to add more things on top if you need to, but not changing all the time. The key is being an entrepreneur. It can get bored sometimes, but it's not about always being creative. Sometimes you have to go through that path, maybe let it run, and then add some new source, like a recipe. It works so well as a dish. People just come to eat that dish that you keep changing, then they're going to forget about how that dish tastes like and you're going to lose a lot of clients. But you can always create new menus to serve more different clients. And for those clients who might have more demand and request, that will help as well. Now, the next principle is end in mind. The end in mind here also means purpose, also means your why. Because if you don't know where you're going, if you don't know why you're doing what you do, you are going to give up very soon. And this is our human being nature that we just tend to give up quickly when we don't know what we're doing. When I say we don't know what we're doing, we know what we're doing, but we don't know why we're doing this, which is why, are you familiar with the self-talk? Oh, I have no idea what I'm doing. Why? And then you ask the second word is why? Because there's a huge power when you start everything with why. And in fact, if I ask you, what is your Keywords about success, like what is success meaning to you? How about happiness? There are a lot of answers outside there. People can say, because if you're rich, you'll be successful. If you'll be famous, you'll be successful. Really? Are you happy when you're famous? I doubt. There's so many people who are famous. They end up put into prison, or they got drugs. They got a really bad tragedy at the end. They're not happy. Well, if you say you're rich, the same thing. People can be rich, they'll be successful, be happy. No. But doesn't mean you're poor, you'll be happy. You can be happy when you're poor, but you also can be miserable when you're struggling with your 3 meals a day. The point here is your purpose is where plays the majority of the role in your life, the principle. If you want to get your philosophy right, you have to understand about yourself. What is your why? If you don't understand about your why, your philosophies will just rely on others. We have this world standard nowadays, especially with social medias, with everything outside there. It's like if you are not this, you will be bad. If you don't have a house, you'll be bad. If you don't have more than 100 followers, you'll be bad. No. Everyone is supposed to be different. Everyone is supposed to be unique. That is why you need to work out your philosophy. You need to know your why, your purpose, what fulfills you. But if you can't find the answer, I have a good news for you. Let me ask you these questions. You will find your why, you will find your purpose. The first question I have for you is, do you believe your why and your purpose is based on just your personal needs, or it is based on others' needs? That question solves the biggest time for you. Because I personally believe we will never be fulfilled by ourselves. We can only feel fulfilled when we make an impact in someone else's lives. And that is my why, the purpose. So don't get isolated. Don't feel like if you're an entrepreneur, you need to be successful. That means you need to be isolated. Your purpose can be for your family, outside your family, for people who struggle than you used to struggle, no matter what those answers are. Now, the next question I have for you is, who are your target avatars, target audiences? Why I'm asking this? Because we're not meant to serve everyone. We can't, due to our time limit, personalities, gifts, talents. We're all different. But the good news is you always have a group of people that they are your people. Find those people, describe who they are, and then you will find your purpose, that your purpose is for this group of people. I'll give you another example. There are so many people outside there. Some are very much caring about those who got childhood trauma, so they help people with that direction. Or some was they suffer a lot from a divorce from their parents, so they were dedicated to their life to serve and help people with their marriage. No matter what that means to you, ask yourself these questions. You will find your answer. And the next question for you to find your philosophy about your purpose, is to ask, what do you really want from 10 years from now, 20 years from now, or even 50 years from now? And why do you want this? Don't judge yourself. Just be true and honest to yourself. Write those answers down. Because once you have all these answers, great news. You will find so much clarity in what you do and why you do. And you will be so proud of yourself because your philosophies are already improved. It's not a one-day problem solver. If someone's telling you if you go there and get everything solved straight away, it's a lie. Nothing can be solved in one step. And that's also why I'm doing the marketing. I'm seeing this. I don't want to do the same things what others are doing, because they will tell you, hey, come here, 3 steps, your problem is solved. Yeah, well, sometimes the message can definitely transform your life in your thinking, and then you can implement that to your life. That can help you a lot, but it's never just one medicine, everything's going to be healed. And you also know, just like the medicine, you can have antibiotics, right? But there's also side effect. And there's also like there's other ways in order to prevent it in the future. Why you have to keep always getting the medicine? It's not good. All right, I've shared a lot today, but I believe once you get your philosophy right, your life will be completely changed and transformed. I want to end up with some amazing things that I have prepared for you. So, if you run an organization, philosophy matters more than perks. If you coach talent, stop selling one-size success formulas. If you are a human being, money helps, but meaning and real relationships add years and happiness. Get your philosophy wrong and you waste talent, lose billions, break companies, and shorten lives. Get it right and you unlock productivity, raise GDP, and extend healthy lifespans. Choose a different metric tonight and today. Don't measure success only by money or innate talent. Measure by how many people you've helped, stayed engaged, learn a skill, and connect. Because that is what fuels balance sheet and lengthens lives. You get this and you will conquer the world. Thank you so much for listening. I'll see you on the next video. God bless you. Bye.